No school again tomorrow for students in Tacoma.
So if you're just joining us this afternoon, 93% of the teachers there voted to continue to strike despite a judge's ruling that ordered them back to work today.
Dana Rebick is live at the Tacoma Dome once again this afternoon. Dana, got an update?
Not yet. The last we heard just a few minutes ago is that both parties are still at the bargaining table, but the news this morning, the teachers not reporting to work, was very disappointing for the district, which was prepared for students to come back to class today. But teachers say they want a fair contract. And now, again, like I said a moment ago, they are bargaining right at this moment. We're told they could go well into the night, even up to 2 in the morning, as they did before this strike began. Now, teachers say they want to keep class sizes the same. They do not want to take a state-mandated pay cut, but the main sticking point, teacher representatives say, is a new policy on how teachers get reassigned to different schools. Whatever the issues, this strike has meant a week of headaches for thousands of local families who had to scramble to make last-minute plans for their kids. But according to the Washington Policy Center, this strike has been in the works for months, if not longer, and it claims the Washington Education Association strategically chooses which high-profile district to target for a fight over issues they want addressed. The Tacoma Union's vice president insists that is not true.
No, absolutely not. We invited our parent, WEA, to come in and help us when it looked like the district would not come back to the negotiating table in good faith. When they told us we will not plan, we're not going to settle this by the time school starts, we called in help.
Now, the next step in all of this is a hearing tomorrow in Pierce County Court at 1:30, and that is when a judge could decide whether or not to start imposing fines for these teachers. Those fines would be per employee per day, and as we saw 2 years ago in the Kent teachers strike, as soon as a judge threatened to start imposing those fines, the teachers called off the strike the very next day. So we'll be following these negotiations tonight, and we'll have the very latest for you tonight on our news at 9 and 10. Live in Tacoma, Dana Rebick, Q13, Fox News.
All right, Dana.
So let's talk a little bit more about what we just heard. We're joined now by Paul Guppy. You are the VP of Research at the Washington Policy Center, and you are saying that this strike has been planned for months.
Yeah, not specifically in Tacoma, but we know that the WEA, the main teachers union in the state, that they met back in May, and they issued instructions to local affiliates saying that if the district doesn't agree to your demands, they gave specific directions about having a strike, and walkouts is one of those, and particularly to close schools. And they even specified, try to close school on a Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it's most inconvenient for working families, in order to put pressure on that particular district, and now we find that it's Tacoma.
Now, full disclosure, your guys' website, you guys have posted some blogs that have been very critical of the teachers union.
We are critical of the teachers union because of the way that it affects education for children. So this dispute has been going on for 4 months when the legislature said that salaries had to be decreased. In 295 school districts across the state, an agreement was reached, very routine and no disruption for students. Only in Tacoma has the union closed the schools, and there are 20,000 kids who can't access the classroom. So we are concerned when kids are being deprived of their educational opportunities.
Well, I think everybody's concerned about that, but these teachers may say, you know what, if we're not able to get what we feel we deserve, what else are we to do but strike?
Well, what we see is that this was very avoidable. So the issues that are under debate here, we've known about this since the beginning of the year. So what we see is that there isn't any reason to wait until the last minute, and now today we just find that the main teachers union is sending their top negotiators into Tacoma to try to hash this out. But if our point is that if the grown-ups focused on resolving these problems before school starts, then the children wouldn't be affected. There was plenty of time to take care of this before.
Well, if we look to the past, Paul, we have seen that we see an injunction handed down or an order handed down by a judge, and then the district imposes fines on the teachers, and then they come to an agreement down the road and they say, okay, all is good now, we're back in session, and they say, don't worry about the fines. So hasn't the foundation been set in other cases for with what we're seeing in Tacoma? Why should they come back before they get what they want?
Well, again, this is a strong-arm tactic that we've seen in Bellevue, in Marysville, even in Seattle earlier this year. There was a threat of a strike. So, again, as an outside group, we just see people's education being disrupted, and that if the union had worked on this earlier, there would be no need for the dispute today.
All right, Paul, we appreciate you coming in. Thanks so much. And a reminder for all of you at home, stay with Q13 Fox for updates on the Tacoma teachers strike. You can also find up-to-the-minute info at Q13Fox.com.
Local foreclosure.